On this week's episode of the Hanford Insider, Anne-Marie Payton from Tulare King's Resources for Life joins us. Rob will have some community news, and I'll be back with your sports report. This is the Hanford Insider for Monday, August 24th.
This is the Hanford Insider Podcast, where we celebrate the people, places, and stories that make Kings County so special. I'm Rob Bentley. Let's get started. This is a busy week for community meetings, so here's a quick rundown. Hanford residents received an important ballot in the mail last week regarding a proposed funding package for the Mid-Kings River Groundwater Sustainability Agency. It affects all of us. There will be 2 public workshops this week at the Hanford Civic Auditorium. The first one will be held this Monday, August 24th at 1 p.m., and the other one will be held on Tuesday, August 25th at 5:30 p.m. If you can't make it to the meeting in person, you can watch the workshop via their website at midkingsrivergsa.org/local funding. We got some good news this week out of the Kings County Roads Department that the Houston Avenue Bridge over Cross Creek is finally going to be repaired. If you remember back in 2023, it suffered some structural damage and was deemed unsafe, so it was closed. This was a favorite alternative to get to Tulare County between Highway 43 and Highway 99. After years of funding delays and environmental concerns, the project will finally get underway later this month. The groundbreaking ceremony will be held on Tuesday, August 25th at 1:30 p.m. at the site. The California High-Speed Rail Authority will be holding a public meeting in the Civic Auditorium on Wednesday, August 26th at 5 p.m. The Kings Fair Board will be holding their meeting on Thursday, August 27th at 4:30 p.m. I'm not sure how much discussion there will be about a data center, but they will be meeting in the boardroom. However, on August 28th, there will be a data center town hall at the Episcopal Church of the Savior beginning at 5:30 p.m. The City of Hanford has announced that the co-ed flag football season is about to begin. Games will be played on Saturdays at Rotary Park. For more information, call 559-649-2664. Now let's take a look at this week's community calendar. The Senior Wellness Workshop is being held on Wednesday, August 26th at 10:30 p.m. in the Civic Auditorium. The Car Club Cruise Night is being held on Wednesday, August 26th at Wienerschnitzel on Lacey Boulevard. The Thursday Night Marketplace will give it another go this week. There's no heat wave predicted, so it looks like it'll be a great evening to go down to Civic Park. Finally, this weekend, go check out the Kings Players production of Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap. They have performances on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. Check out their website at kingsplayers.org for showtimes and tickets. If you have an event coming up, large or small, and you'd like some help getting the word out, let's work together. Send your information to hanfordinsider@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to my weekly newsletter to get a complete calendar of events. It's the most comprehensive community calendar available. Now let's check in with Eric for some high school sports.
And now it's time for Hanford Insider Sports with Eric Bentley.
Lots of action to catch up on as fall sports are officially underway. We'll start out at football, where the Hanford West football team picked up its first win since 2022, shutting out Parlier 33-0 on Friday. A steady ground game from the Huskies' offense was backed up by a defense that turned over the Panthers on downs multiple times and had a fumble return for a touchdown. This week, the Huskies will look to keep their newfound momentum rolling, taking on Mendota on Friday at 7:30. The Sierra Pacific football team got their 2026 season off to a tough start on Friday with a 62-26 loss at Chowchilla. It was all tribe from start to finish, and the Golden Bears will look to regroup this week as they'll face Strathmore on Friday at 7:30. And the Hanford High football team was off last week. They'll hit the road this week for their season opener against a Sanger team who is coming off of a 28-21 win over Lemoore. In girls volleyball, after falling to Golden West in straight sets early in the week, the Sierra Pacific volleyball team took down Hanford High in a 5-set thriller on Thursday night to pick up their first win. The Golden Bears seized all of the early momentum, taking the first two sets 25-5, 25-15, but the Bullpups answered, winning sets 3 and 4, 25-17 and 25-21 to force the decisive fifth set. But it was Sierra Pacific who would slam the door shut on the comeback, winning the fifth set 15-13. The Golden Bears improved to 2-2 on the year. That was the Bullpups' first game of the season. On Friday, they fell to Redwood in tournament play before taking down Independence later that afternoon for their first win. And the Hanford West volleyball team is off to a 1-1 start, falling in their season opener to Strathmore on Tuesday, then taking down Sunnyside 3-1 on Thursday. Out to the pool now, where water polo season is in full swing. Both Sierra Pacific squads are off to a 1-0 start. The girls, after moving up to D2 this season, took down Tulare Western 10-3 on Tuesday, with the boys pulling away in the second half of their game to take down the Mustangs 10-6 later in the day. The Hanford West boys water polo team beat Strathmore 11-3 in their season opener last Tuesday to start the year 1-0, while the Huskies girls fell to the Spartans 9-7. The girls also saw tournament play over the weekend, falling to El Diamante before picking up their first win of the season 14-2 over Torres and picking up a win 16-8 over Hanford High. For the Bullpups girls, that loss has them 0-2 on the year after a season-opening defeat to Lemoore. No scores reported yet for the Hanford High boys, but they're scheduled to face off with Hanford West later this week. As always, if you have a score report or a team update for any team in any sport at any level, you can let us know by emailing hanfordinsider@gmail.com. I'm Eric Bentley, and this has been your Hanford Insider Sports Report.
Well, it gives me a great opportunity to welcome to the show Anne-Marie Payton, who is with Tulare Kings Resources for Life. How you doing, Anne-Marie?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great.
So for people who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be involved with Tulare Kings Resources for Life?
Of course, I am Anne-Marie Payton. I live in Hanford. I have 8 children, 6 living, and I am a fertility care practitioner before getting involved with Tulare Kings Resources for Life. I got involved with the organization by volunteering, and I did that when I could, and then eventually I became a board member. I spent 3 years on the board, and then a position of the executive director position came up, and I was able to fill that position. So this will be my 3rd year as the executive director.
So what was it about this organization and its mission that made you want to become involved?
It's a good question. I have looked at the issues in our culture, our society, and as a woman who made a poor choice as a teenager, I had an abortion, and it has plagued me ever since. And I did this for what I thought was a good reason. I felt like it was justified, and I had reason. Later on, came to find out that it was really... It hurt me in a lot of different ways. And so I got involved with a mission and an organization that absolutely tends to women who've already made a decision like that, and certainly worked toward changing legislation that could be more supportive of women in those crisis situations. So I got involved.
What do you want them to understand about what you actually do in our community?
Yes, as I became more involved and took the position, I brought my fertility care practitioner services to the organization. I felt like it was imperative that people who wanted to conceive children or had trouble with infertility needed help. And What I teach is the only alternative to IVF that is successful, 80% successful. So with women who are struggling in that area, I brought that. I also added in our education and curriculum so that we can teach. And it just seemed like with every additional program we brought into the organization, the name needed to change to reflect all that we were offering in the community. So when I say resources, I mean resources. We have something for every age. Every person that walks through the doors can be helped or aided by a program or a resource that we offer.
So what are some of the programs and resources you provide that people may not know about?
We offer everything from infertility treatment for miscarriage, treatment for healing after abortion. We offer high school curriculum. We actually offer curriculum from preschool all the way through high school. So if you have children who can come in and take advantage of our free preschool programs, it's taught by a retired educator. We have curriculum from K through 8 and high school health and sex ed that would be a great addition to the current sex ed standards. Our curriculum actually meets 22 out of the 30 state standards. So we're teaching science-based fertility awareness. Students will understand their bodies, and we are in public and private schools. So this curriculum is customized, and we are out on every marketplace. We offer seniors activities, bingo, luncheons, you name it. There's volunteer opportunities. Whatever your situation and whatever place in life you're at, you can seriously walk through the doors and find something that you can do here at TKRL.
So when someone does come to you and they're facing an unexpected pregnancy or maybe another difficult situation, what happens? What kind of help can you connect them with?
This is such a good question because a lot of people usually say, does your organization need an ultrasound machine? And so we have to clarify between what we're offering and what a care pregnancy center is. So TKRL is not a care pregnancy center. We absolutely would resource out to the care pregnancy centers if there was a person who came in crisis. So the way I can best describe the difference is a care pregnancy center is going to help a woman who's pregnant right now. They will help with a pregnancy test, an ultrasound. They will give her material goods, services, classes. They're going to help her. Tulare King's Resources for Life helps in every situation around that. If the person comes in and they have not been able to get pregnant and they don't have any other help, we're going to help you. If the person comes in with children, any age, we will lead them to resources where they can learn. If the person comes in, they've already had an abortion or suffered a miscarriage, male, female couples, we're going to help you. If the person comes in and they're a teenager, we have teen groups that they can participate in once a month. We have seniors groups, literally any age, any person. Tell us what's going on in your life, and we're going to walk alongside you through it.
So let's talk about that for just a moment. I would imagine having somewhere to go, someone to help them that they can turn to without feeling judged or alone. How important is that?
Extremely important. I know that this movement has often taken this. It might appear that it's, people standing out with protests and fists in the air about things. And the reality is that's not going to help anyone. If someone is in crisis, they absolutely need a place to go where they don't feel judged. Our doors are open to anyone, anytime. You can come in, share your experience, and I can guarantee you we're going to have someone on staff and in that office who can help. And it's important to recognize that 1 out of every 4 women have had an abortion. 1 out of every 3 women have suffered miscarriage. So there is a lot of people out there, and being a woman myself, there's nothing more empowering or powerful than to help a woman in the crisis situation that she might find herself in. And if she doesn't feel that she needs help immediately, we have seen women come through the doors that have gone through experiences 20, 30, 40 years ago and are still wounded by that experience. And anyone knows, if you've gone through a trauma in your life, sometimes you might need someone to come alongside you and help you work through that. And we certainly have healing retreats, Bible studies, therapists who will help our clients who come in. So we are prepared and ready to help anyone who walks through that door.
And I would imagine when they do come in the door and they've got a story, and, those kinds of stories feed you, they weigh heavy on you. For sure. Without sharing anyone's private information, maybe you can share with us a story that has stayed with you during your work.
Lots of stories. One that comes to mind just now, because we're going to share it at the big event, and we'll definitely talk about that, was an adoption story that took place right at TKRL. We had a woman come in, and she said, I was adopted as a child, and my husband and I have really been praying about it. We would like to adopt. And so we had some adoption agencies that she could talk to, but she said, I was really interested in seeing if anyone has ever come in here saying that they were abortion-minded. If we could step in and help in that situation, we would love that. Well, we had never handled something like that before. I wasn't sure what to do. I did what you probably did. I said, can you make a video and I'll post it on our media and let's see if anyone is out there. We did that. Nothing happened. And then I got a call one day from someone who said, I know of a woman in your area and she needs some help. She is 20 weeks pregnant. She is scheduling to have an abortion. She doesn't know what to do. She needs some help right now. Well, I would typically resource her out to the care pregnancy centers, but she said, no, she's in your area and she's already gone there. What can she do? Can you help? I said, sure, send her in. So she came in and we began to talk. We were able to give her some things immediate needs that could help her. She had 2 small children already. We began to share our stories, she sharing hers with me and my story, sharing it with her. And the word adoption came up. I felt at that point, I should maybe mention, I did just meet a couple who were willing, and they met. And 1 year later, that child has a new home, and the couple was so interested in helping her that they promised her that they would help her even if she chose to keep her child. And in the state of California, you have a week to decide. Even if you've committed to adoption, if you decide you just can't go through with it, that's okay. Well, this family was more than willing to help her with her medical care, her appointments. She didn't have a reliable vehicle they even helped her children. And they continue to be a help to her. Their whole church is a help to her at this point. So that is a miracle story. I still can't quite believe it all happened by just amazing. People walking in the door and we connected them.
Yeah, that's such a great story. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, it's true. I mean, it
I'm
makes
sure
it important.
That's one of many. We could have a whole
it's
show.
True. I'm telling you, 3 more come to mind, but okay, let's get through this.
So what do you think it is that people misunderstand about the circumstances that lead someone to consider an abortion?
I think what's misunderstood is that a woman doesn't make this choice flippantly. I think everyone needs to understand that's a difficult decision. Typically, that woman is in crisis in her life. She's too young. She's not ready. She doesn't have a stable relationship. She doesn't have the support she needs. If she's really young, maybe her parents wouldn't be okay with this. She's afraid, and there is not a lot of help. What's important, and that we should all be working toward, is allowing there to be resources to help a woman in that position. Questions should be asked. Do you need any help? Were you ready for this? How can we help? And then get her some help that maybe can help. I would love to see a community, the state offer programs to help someone choose to keep the child. If you chose to parent, what could we do if we could help and give her some financial backing to make sure she could do that and be okay doing that, making sure she had the health care. We all talk about health care, but there's not a program set up by the state if a woman chooses to keep a child if she's in crisis. Now, the care pregnancy centers are there, but they don't get funded. People have to fund nonprofits. So the Care Pregnancy Center is fully funded by their donors. TKRL is fully funded by our donors, and we're so grateful. But I would love to see people understand that those decisions are not easy. Therefore, there should be no judgment of someone who's made that choice. Instead, you want to offer compassion, professionalism, and resources that can help. And until the state of California can do that, then it really is up to the communities to be able to come alongside those people in those situations and do more to help. And you can do more by donating to the nonprofits that are already doing it. We're doing it.
You've talked about the importance of hope. What does giving someone hope actually look like in practice?
I've been able to see this as a practitioner now taking the classes about infertility into TKRL. When someone has given up hope, they've had IVF or doctors, specialists tell them there is nothing you can do. That is despairing. And usually when these people come to seek some natural class to teach you how to do this, they're kind of skeptical. I've seen hope when we begin the teaching process, helping a woman understand her cycle, helping a couple see what fertility is for them. And I always promise people, no one can guarantee you a child here, but we can and will guarantee you will have answers as to why this has not happened. And situation, for 14 years I've done this, 80% of the clients who've come have been able to conceive, even after they have been told repeatedly that they could not, that their bodies would not do that without the help of IVF. IVF is $25,000 for each event. You'll never pay me that much in your lifetime. If I could tell you there's a guaranteed reason why this is not happening, people want that. They want answers. Even if they can't have a child, they want answers, and we can do that. I've seen the hope in the eyes of the couple who walks in that door and within a year come back and say, I can't believe this has happened.
Yeah, I have a dear friend who has gone through that, and just amazing miracles.
Mm-hmm.
It's so awesome.
Yes, it's good.
Yeah. Why is it important to have these resources specifically here in Tulare and Kings counties rather than expecting people to find help somewhere else?
Well, I live in Hanford, so for me, it's super important that we allow our communities to get the help that they need. Tulare still has the highest teen pregnancy rate. We definitely need to be in these areas, and we have to be providing these resources because these communities are in need of them. And I believe if there's more resources like this offered to our community, there might be better choices made by our young people. So we're here for them. It's important that we're here. We're accessible. We service both communities, 41 cities within the 2 counties, and we will come anywhere for free, set up an education table. We're here every Thursday night at the marketplace because we want to be accessible to the community. It's incredible to think TKRL has been there for 40 years, and there are still some people who say, really? I didn't even know you guys exist. That's pretty cool. I can't wait to see more about what you're doing.
Yeah, those community education events are great. Getting out there at marketplace and strong social media presence,
yes,
and
absolutely.
website definitely helps as well. So let's talk about your role with churches and community organizations. What role do they play in the organization and what you're doing?
They have an important role. We are there to service the churches, the community organizations, and certainly the businesses and individuals. Because we've been a nonprofit existing for so many years without federal funding or state funding of any kind, the businesses and individuals are incredible at keeping this going. So these are people who truly believe in the mission, who truly want to help people in whatever situation they're in, and they believe what TKRL is doing is valuable. So it's important. The churches and other para organizations are a part of the resources. I like to think of us as a resource to the churches too. Oftentimes, a pastor may not have the time with large congregations or priests or clergy to sit and talk to everybody about the situations. And a lot of times, those other situations families might suffer from may deal and have a history of a miscarriage in the marriage, let's say, or an abortion in the past of a person. Sometimes those things are situations, and it could take a lot for the pastors and clergy to get involved. So we're here as a resource to them. This is what we're offering. If you see that there's a couple in need, or this might have been a situation, or they came to you for counsel and you're not sure where to send them, now you have a resource, and you have women and staff who've been there, who've experienced it, and here's the help we can offer. So we do work cooperatively with churches and organizations to make sure they are aware of our resources so we can help them.
So you mentioned volunteers. What does that look like when somebody wants to volunteer? What kind of process do they have to go through to be able to assist in your efforts?
Perfect. We want to send everyone to tkrl.org. Such an easy, quick name to get to, tkrl.org. You'll see on there all of our events, more about the history, the mission, and there's an opportunity to get involved. So you can be a volunteer. You can be an advocate. So an advocate for TKRL pretty much has a loud mouth. This person has a good circle of influence. They have a group they can talk to. They could be a Rotary person or a school advisor, whatever they are, they have a circle of influence. And by mediating between TKRL and that specific group, they can share information and get people involved. That's an advocate. Different from a volunteer who wants to come and help us set up, clean up, Perfect. We need that too. We also have a prayer team, and anyone can go to our website, fill out a simple application, very basic information. But most importantly, come in. You have to see what we're doing. I guarantee what I'm saying to you now is probably stuff you didn't know either. So unless you come in, see the offices, see the education table, see our preschool room, see what we're offering in the community, how do you know you really want to get involved? I mean, you really want to step in, see what we're doing, and then we can help assess where are your aptitudes? Where would you be great at? If you have a great circle of influence, maybe you're an advocate. If you only have weekends available and you want to help with the events, absolutely.
So let's talk about these events. You have been very out there getting the word out about this event that you have coming up in Visalia on September 3rd. We've seen the bulletin boards up around town and do a very good job at advertising this on social media. So let's get to this event and talk about advancing the mission. It's your 31st event, I understand.
Yes. Every year for the last, I think it's 31 years, Tulare King's Resources for Life has been putting on a big fundraising event, and it's changed the name a little. It's now Advancing the Mission because that's what we're doing right now. We are advancing in every possible way: education, restoration, and defense of life activities. So we welcome speakers to come in. They have a great motivational, inspirational talk with information, but it's really a time and place for TKRL to showcase what we've been doing in the last year. I mean, as donors are giving, it's our chance to be transparent, sharing all the miracles and stories like you're asking and talking about. Those things need to be shared in the community. And so this is that opportunity coming up Thursday, September 3rd. We are hosted by Visalia First Church. They just host the event. They're not putting it on. It's us. From 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. We invite churches, groups, individuals, schools, youth groups. In this case, because of Riley Gaines, we're inviting swim teams to come out and take a look and listen. Brandon Tatum and Seth Gruber, great educational, knowledge-based people, bold and inspirational. So you really don't want to miss this. We usually sell out 2,600 people. We are hoping to do that again this year. We also have a special dinner for underwriters. So if there's people interested in the community and underwriting this event, being a partnering with TKRL, you can do that. You can actually meet, greet, and take pictures with these speakers. And then you get some free VIP seats, amazing seats to enjoy the event.
But tickets are going fast, I understand.
Yes, they do. And we have lots of promos. So this weekend, we will have promos, 20% off all tickets. We have promos for students. It doesn't matter what age of a student you are. There's so many promos out there. If you go to our constant contact email, if you go to our website, if you see a sign somewhere, you can actually, on our Instagram and Facebook, if you see a sign, tag us in it, take a picture. You have a chance to win 2 VIP seats so you can sit front and center. So there's lots of opportunities. We hope people take advantage of it.
That's very creative. Tell us again the website where tickets can be purchased.
tkrl.org. There's a banner right on top, or you can go to Eventbrite. These tickets are being sold on Eventbrite. So, and if you need help placing the order, call the office. We will print them out to you or email them to you.
So you have this event coming up on September 3rd, but I know this is not a one-shot deal. You've got several activities that you do throughout the year, yeah?
Yeah, we do. We have big events coming up. So throughout the year, pretty much every other month. And then there's lots of stuff in between. We have this event. We also have a Golf for Life tournament that's hosted at Visalia Country Club. That's always in June around Father's Day. A lot of fun out there. We have a little over 100 teams that join us. So if anyone's interested in that, around Father's Day, Visalia Country Club, there's golf. Mother's Day, we sell flowers. Super easy to sell flowers on Mother's Day for moms. So that's an event that lots of the community take part in. A lot of the churches join us on that endeavor. We have a men's march on Mooney. So what's important about TKRL is we really let men have a platform to speak about maybe miscarriage, how it's affected their lives, how maybe an abortion in their past affected them. So this is their time to speak and have voice about how they feel about that. In between that, I got to say one more thing. There's a pickleball tournament. We're going to have a pickleball tournament coming up next October. So I want, not this October, next October of 2027. We're constantly looking for creative ways of getting more and more community groups involved. And so pickleball is definitely going to be a fun day for all of us who attend. And then in between that, we have Bible studies, teen mixers. We have teens getting together on a Saturday afternoon for pizza and a soda bar. And they talk about important issues and topics. So that's a lot of fun. Preschool's coming up. There's really an event every other week.
So, Anne-Marie, you've brought a lot of attention to this issue in our community. And can you tell us about the mission of the TKRL and what you stand for and what you believe going forward?
We absolutely believe in the sanctity of human life, and for all people, women, men, couples, families who've been impacted by decisions in their life, the ability to defend life, and actually the key to all of this, and what I think I've brought to the organization, is the importance of education. We have to be able to teach students, young people, anyone interested, how your body should work, and to honor that body when it works, to understand it, and totally understanding a woman and her capability of bearing a child. It's really important, and not to judge anyone for the decisions that they have made. So I believe that what the mission is doing is trying to sanctify human life from conception to natural death and bring in the community to understand that that's what it's about. There's no fists or fingers pointing, but rather a community experience where everyone can come together across races, denominations, whatever your belief, and if you have none, that's fine too. There's always a place where you can come and we can dialogue and find things that we do have in common, and let's work toward the good of all people. And if anyone is interested in learning more about TKRL, you can definitely reach us on any of our 5 platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're on YouTube. Please watch our podcast. We have a Table Talk on Tuesday podcast released every other Tuesday, sharing amazing stories, testimonies, and education. We have an education series coming up on our YouTube, so please join us there, as well as X. So there's always a way you can find out what we're doing.
Isn't that great? It's great to have those platforms. Anne-Marie, it's been so wonderful having you today, and thank you for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck at your September 3rd fundraiser.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Well, that wraps things up for this week's show. If you're enjoying the podcast and want to support it, you can head over to buymeacoffee.com/Hanford Insider to make a donation, or you can Venmo me directly. To stay connected, join the Hanford Insider email list at hanfordinsider.com. You'll get weekly updates plus an exclusive newsletter delivered right to your inbox. I'd also really appreciate your help getting the word out about the show by liking and sharing on social media, or like most people, just telling a friend. Don't forget, if you have a story idea, community event, or someone you think deserves to be featured, I'd love to hear from you. Email me anytime at hanfordinsider@gmail.com. You can follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, and YouTube at Hanford Insider for more content and updates. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.